The Supreme Court ended its summer docket with some major decisions, including one ruling siding with a Texas law. Justices upheld a Texas law requiring adults to submit proof of their age in order to access certain adult websites, with the goal of blocking children and teens from online pornography. The High Court was also expected to make a ruling on birthright citizenship, but instead limited the powers of federal judges to block a president's action. Fox 4's Sean Rabb in studio now to explain both of these decisions. Hey, Sean.
Hey, good evening to you. That age verification for porn site access was one of the most watched First Amendment cases in recent years, protecting children from hardcore porn versus an adult's right to access obscene material. Now, what the court did not do was rule whether a child born here is a U.S. citizen if their parents are not here legally. Rather, they limited the scope of a federal judge's decisions.
Well, this was a big one, wasn't it?
President Donald Trump called it an amazing victory and monumental decision.
For the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law, in striking down the excessive use of nationwide injunctions to interfere with the normal functioning of the executive branch.
By a 6-3 vote, the justices ruled federal judges don't have the power to issue a ruling, an injunction in their district that applies nationwide.
The court pretty much says we're putting an end to it. In the introduction, it describes how this practice of nationwide injunctions started and kind of grew and grew and grew.
Constitutional law attorney David Cole appearing on Good Day Friday.
We're supposed to have elected representatives putting their laws in place, and then courts kind of, interpreting disputes about those, but not every law automatically runs to Congress all the time.
Cole believes what the High Court did by restricting the reach of federal courts makes more complex the still unresolved dispute over birthright citizenship. Whether a person born in America is automatically a citizen regardless of their parents' immigration status.
Because instead of one lawsuit, now you got a whole bunch of proceedings that are going to be going on.
Lawsuits stemming from the argument that birthright citizenship is enshrined in the 14th Amendment beyond the reach of an executive order. But once the High Court's policy on injunctions takes effect, we could see a patchwork of rules from state to state. President Trump praised the court's ruling.
So thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers from paying for transgender surgeries, and numerous other priorities of the American people.
And in another ruling, a big blow to the adult entertainment industry, the Supreme Court upheld a Texas law that requires a person to upload identifying information to prove their age before access to a porn website. The idea to protect children from accessing adult content online. Appellate attorney Chad Ruback says the ruling leaves adult website operators with two choices.
This law, regardless of which course that a porn website is going to take, stopping access to Texans or requiring Texans to upload a driver's license, either way, I think a lot fewer Texans are going to be accessing porn online now.
And Pornhub has already pulled out of operating in Texas since this law passed the state legislature, saying the challenges of privacy and technology complying with the law are challenging. Almost half of states in the U.S. have similar laws following our state's lead. Now, freedom of speech advocates argue the Supreme Court's ruling shaves back First Amendment rights.
Something we will certainly keep watching. All right, Fox 4's Sean Rabb live for us tonight. Sean, thank you.